Well, all kinds of stuff happening in the weather lately. You've
Right.
got a developing system in the tropics. We had an incredible light show last night.
That's what I want to get to quick, and then we'll talk about their other stuff. Tim, we have more lightning going on right now. Get a look at this video that was sent in from Whitfield Estates, and this was from last night. Everyone's been talking about it. A lot of people realize that this lightning that occurs is usually from the cloud to the ground, but 80% of lightning that does occur goes from one cloud to another cloud, or intra-cloud lightning. So you don't hear a lot of thunder, but this was continuous. This is from Kelly Bennett. Again, appreciate the video sent to our Facebook page, and you can just see those towering cumulonimbus clouds that produced a tremendous amount of lightning last night. And we're seeing a lot of lightning again this evening, and that is a direct result of just a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. And I want to show you these pictures one more time real quick. Just amazing pictures of lightning strikes that were occurring. Some of this kind of a composite of several minutes. This one here in particular, you can see just that lightning channel moving. They weren't moving much either. They were drifting to the south. And what we're seeing now is some big storms firing up along the sea breeze front, and there's not much movement with these storms. So a tremendous amount of rain falling right now in Northport. A special advisory issued for folks in Northport, Port Charlotte, stretching all the way to Arcadia. Rainfall rates up to 2 to 3 inches an hour. As I mentioned, the storm's not moving much at all. You can see some isolated areas get up to 5 inches of rainfall here in just a short period of time. And look at all this. This is all kind of spreading off toward Inglewood right now, while this line is just hammering much of DeSoto County. The tops on these storms now, granted, this is a little bit further away from the radar site, but they're still up to nearly 40 to 50,000 feet, although they're starting to come down a little bit. You can also get pea-sized hail with these kind of cells that are developing. And then notice this outflow boundary from storms over Pinellas County really starting to fire up into Manatee County near Parrish, spreading toward Palmetto, and right now into near Lakewood Ranch. And this activity is still very intense as far as the lightning strikes go. And this is along I-75, stretching all the way down to University, up to State Road 64 over near Waterleaf. And looks like that continues now to move toward downtown Sarasota and toward Siesta Key. This is kind of spreading in that direction. This one just fired up about a half hour ago. So it just gives you the indication that the atmosphere is really juiced up right now, and storms are popping up in all the surface boundaries created by these other cells. This one was huge earlier, and that created a little surface boundary. And now we got intense rain along the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. So driving a little bit tough up and down the Sun Coast. 88 degrees at Sarasota Bradian Airport. It was another hot one today, one of the hottest falls on record this weekend. And temperatures into the low 90s both days, with heat indices up near 100. 90 today. 88 is our normal high. Everyone's waiting for fall, and it's not going to be here. We'll get a little taste of it for low temperatures on, it looks like, Thursday morning, Friday morning, when lows will be in the low 70s. But right now, temperatures are cooling where it's raining. 74 in Orlando. That's really quite cool. You see that big green area. That indicates the cooler temperatures, and we're starting to chill out here a bit too. So what we have is plenty of moisture in the atmosphere, some convergence setting up, a little bit of a low pressure, but this is the storm that everyone's talking about. It's soon to be Matthew. 90% chance developing in the next 5 days, 70 in the next 2 days. I wouldn't be surprised by 11. This will be a tropical depression. It's looking very healthy on the imagery right now. And this is 97L, and get a look at the forecast. Now, all these forecasts are in pretty good agreement that this is going to develop into our next system. And then there's a big spread about day 3 and 4. Some take it off through the Dominican Republic and head off toward the Bahamas, while others take it through central Cuba toward Florida, and while still others keep it on a more westerly course. But either way, it looks like this thing is going to get a little bit stronger too. We could see our first hurricane in the Caribbean this season, and it could be rather intense. Some of the models are also suggesting a pretty big hurricane there. It's too early to tell whether we're going to have an impact here. We just have to watch it very closely. We'll have much more once the center develops. When the center develops, that gives the models a better idea as to where it may be heading. So stay tuned on what could be Matthew before long. Beach and boating, winds out of the southeast. Not much out there for your sails. 5 to 10 knots, seas less than 2 feet. Water temperature still pretty warm for this time of year. 88 degrees. You need a first cold front to kind of cool things down. I know when Hermine went through, it cooled down to 83 degrees because of the upwelling there. High tide upcoming 11:41. Isolated storms, some heavy rainfall even through this evening. 76 for your low tomorrow. Look for a 30% chance. Not as much tomorrow, but there'll still be 1 or 2 lone storms. And the extended forecast is calling for less of a chance on Thursday and Friday, better on Wednesday. And then over the weekend, we'll be watching closely what could be Matthew.